The first sound you hear is silence. No engine, no hum, no phone buzz. The world that used to pulse with electricity just stopped breathing. You stare at your dead screen and tell yourself it's a power cut. You walk to the window and see the whole city frozen. No cars, no lights, no aircraft trails, just stillness. You tell yourself someone somewhere will fix it, but no one does. Because this is not a blackout. This is the moment after an EMP. You have 60 minutes to survive the first wave of human panic. 60 minutes before the calm breaks. 60 minutes before the myths and mistakes take over. Most people will not last that long. This is safety zone analysis. We don't sell fear. We don't sugarcoat. We tell the truth. Because when the world goes dark for real, it won't be Hollywood slow motion. It will be right now. In the first minute, you touch your phone like it owes you answers. It is black. You hold it up to the window as if sunlight will charge it. You walk outside and see neighbors staring at their own dead screens. A man shouts to someone in a car. The driver turns the key again and again. Nothing. Every vehicle is dead. You hear a distant crash as a plane spirals with no control. Then, silence again. No sirens, no engines, no power. The air smells different already, like static and metal and fear. In the first 5 minutes, the first mistake happens. People go back inside waiting for normal, waiting for the hum of fridges and the light of routers. But EMPs don't fix themselves. The circuits are burned. Every microchip is ash. Waiting now means dying later, because every minute counts before panic multiplies. At 10 minutes, someone down the street starts shouting. They think it was a bomb. Someone else says solar flare. The words don't matter. The fear does. You see a woman carrying her child to the car, trying to flee nowhere. You tell her it won't start, but she doesn't listen. She keeps turning the key until the battery dies completely. That is mistake 2. Wasting power. The last sparks of it. People burn batteries on dead phones, flashlights, radios that no longer work. They don't understand yet that electricity itself has died. By 15 minutes, the first crowd forms. Someone says they saw a glow on the horizon. Someone else claims it was nuclear. Rumors travel faster than facts. You hear them all. You don't know what to believe. But you remember something you heard once. If you ever lose power everywhere at once, fill water immediately. You run back home and open every tap. The flow is still there for now, because gravity tanks haven't drained yet. You fill bottles, pots, buckets, sinks. It feels absurd, but you do it. By 20 minutes, panic mutates into action. Someone starts breaking into the small store on the corner. Not for money, for food, for batteries, for cigarettes. A man runs past you carrying bread like treasure. No police, no alarms, just human instinct reverting to hunger and fear. You lock your door because you understand what happens next. At 30 minutes, the city begins to echo differently. Voices rise in the open air because there is no background hum to swallow them. The sounds of footsteps, the slam of doors, the breaking of glass, all become sharp. You can hear conversations from blocks away. That's when you realize communication is survival. You search for a radio battery-powered. If it still works, it's gold. But most won't. The circuits are fried. By 40 minutes, people start lighting fires. Candles flash in windows. Smoke drifts from trash bins. You see a man wave a flare into the night sky like he's calling for rescue. No one comes. He's just making himself a target. That is mistake 3. Light in darkness means you are seen before you see. Keep dark. Keep quiet. The ones who understand that rule will live through the first night. At 45 minutes, someone bangs on your door. You don't answer. You listen. A voice says, "Please, we just need water." You freeze because you know it's true. Everyone needs it. But you also know once you open that door, you can't close it. Survival is math. It's not cruelty, it's capacity. The world outside has already started dividing into groups, who have and those who don't. At 50 minutes, the temperature drops. No heating, no fans, no hum of modern comfort. You sit in silence, hearing your own breath. You light one candle, behind a shield, so it doesn't glow through the window. You eat something small. You think about the fridge full of food that will rot by tomorrow. You can't eat it all. You realize waste is death now. Every calorie matters. At 55 minutes, you hear a scream in the distance. Then, nothing. You remember that help will not come. Not tonight. Maybe not for weeks. You breathe slow. You write down what you know. What works, what fails, because memory is fragile under fear. At the 60th minute, the clock inside you resets. The old world is gone. The digital pulse that once kept everything alive is gone. What remains is muscle, fire, water, will. The four things that built civilization before electricity and will build it again if you're ready. The next hours are when real mistakes happen. People pour out into streets thinking they can walk to safety. They find only distance. They drink unboiled water from fountains and rivers and fall sick within days. They light bonfires inside rooms and die from smoke. They use candles near gas leaks. They trust strangers who promise food. They forget that calm is survival and panic is death. But some do better. Some remember lessons older than modern life. They ration. They boil. They seal windows and share information. They make quiet alliances with neighbors they trust. They keep paper maps because GPS is gone. They carry whistles to signal without power. They organize watches to guard supplies while others sleep. They become the quiet spine of what comes next. Days later, the world is still dark. People trade batteries like gold. They realize cash is meaningless when ATMs are tombs. Some communities adapt faster than others. Rural areas survive better because they still remember how to live without plugs. Cities suffer because they were built on speed and convenience, not endurance. You begin to see the long game. The danger of EMPs isn't the blast, it's dependency. Civilization was built on invisible wires. Cut them, and the human machine stops moving. But survival begins when you accept that it's gone. So what do you do now? You keep water. You store candles. You get a hand crank radio and keep it in a tin box to shield it from future pulses. You learn to purify water and ration food. You learn your neighborhood, who to trust, who to avoid. You practice calm because panic will always be louder than the problem. When power returns, it won't fix what broke inside people. The ones who froze will fear the dark forever. The ones who adapted will never take light for granted again. And you will remember that everything you depend on can die in one flash without warning. This is safety zone analysis. We don't sell fear. We tell the truth. Because the first 60 seconds after an EMP decide everything. Whether you live by panic or by preparation. Whether you wait for rescue or become it. Share this before the next silence comes. Because the clock is already ticking.